Hello to one and all, and welcome back aboard the Hype Train and the home of our grassroots football team, Hype Train FC. A season defined by lockdown measures in the UK due to the ongoing coronavirus pandemic, our 2020-21 campaign in the East Berkshire Football League proved to be the new definition of anticlimactic, with highlights from all 8 of our games from Division 1 featured in this season highlights recap. Let's get straight into the action with our season kicking off all the way back in October 2020. Having been promoted from EBFL Division 2 the season prior on points per game, we began our season in EBFL Division 1 on October the 3rd, 2020 away at eventual champions Ivor Heath. In this first footage we have Rod Stevens and Sammy Seville combining well with Callum Fox-Spence down the right, with Rod Stevens at right back eventually flinging in a good ball before it's cleared by the Ivor Heath players. We look to pick up the ball, but Maran Pendolph gives away a free kick. The host's first opportunity in the game comes around the 15-minute mark when they're able to exploit some space down the left and eventually whipping in a cross. The cross is parried and it's into the feet of Robert Austin, who's adjudged to have kicked the ball back to Jack Roche for an indirect free kick for the hosts. Queuing up and ready to pounce, Ivor Heath central defender looks to smash the ball in, but Jack Roche in goal is able to smother the ball really well. Ivor Heath's goalkeeper has the ball in his hand and he's looking to go along on this occasion, with the ball floated really well into our defensive area. The ball's able to be flicked on to their right wing back, who takes one touch in the box and he's got the whole goal to aim at, but somehow he chips the ball over the bar. It would have been a good conversion in rugby. Next up, from a corner kick, Ivor Heath's left central defender comes out to collect the ball and whips in a cross. The cross is collected by Jack, but it's unfortunately dropped into the path of their number 6, who stabs home for the opening goal of the game. Ivor Heath are looking to turn the screw on the team and get the second goal of the game, and they're certainly mounting some pressure down the middle. They look to pick up the ball, but we collect the ball well and calmly compose ourselves as we shrug off the challenge of an Ivor Heath attacker. The ball is eventually fed to Sam Bolwell, who's got Akers in the middle to pick out Dom Clark on the left hand side, with the winger collecting the ball eventually. Squaring up against one of the central defenders, Dom decides to slow the play down and he's got time and space to pick out his man, with the cross eventually well defended by one of their central defenders. Deeper into the first half, we're looking for our equalising effort and we're working the middle of our own. The ball is fed out to Sammy Seville on the right hand side and back into the feet of Callum Fox, who takes one touch and looks up for a cross, but it's well defended by an Ivor Heath defender. Callum's the first on the scene to pick up the loose ball, and it eventually is cleared out to Sam Bolwell, who does well to hold off his attacker. The on-rushing Jamie Carter at left back picks up the ball and is able to feed a nice little inside ball to Dom Clark, who decides that he's going to take the cross first time, and it's defended very well. If not, Sammy Seville was on hand. Into the second half now, Ivor Heath going from left to right. They pick up the ball, but it's a loose giveaway in midfield and it falls out to Jamie Carter, who's able to run and feed in Phil Newport in attack. Newport's able to twist and turn away from defenders, but his shot is central and Ivor Heath eventually managed to clear the ball away. Ivor Heath's first massive chance of the second half comes from a set piece that's bobbled out to the edge of the box with one of their attackers picking up the loose ball. The cross comes in at the back post with their forward Liam Connor missing a header from what seems to be about 1 yard out. With the game in its burning embers, we're in extra time now with the team going 4-4-2 and putting some extra pressure up top. But it's Ivor Heath who capitalise in the dying seconds as there's a cutback to their forward Liam Connor, who strikes in a brilliant effort to double the lead in extra time to secure the win for the eventual champions. After defeat on opening day, the team were looking to bounce back immediately against Hambledon in our first home game at Calcott Recreation Ground. But it was the host Hambledon that nearly took a surprise lead when a missed kick clearance was fed to one of the Hambledon players, who was unfortunate not to get a shot away. It's in the first half when most of the opportunities of the game arise, with the ball falling out to the feet of Dom Clark. Dom looks down the line and he feeds Phil Newport in attack, who's able to hold up well, twisting and turning, but his pass back to Chris Marshall isn't spot on as the ball trickles out to the right hand side with Rod Stevens. Rod plays it into the feet of John Watkins, who tees up a first time pass to Callum Fox-Spence, who twists and turns away from a Hambledon defender, unleashing a shot which is saved very well by the goalkeeper, with Chris Marshall's follow up eventually cleared, with the team unlucky not to get the equalising goal. Then Hambledon have a free kick outside the area and it's palmed away brilliantly by Jack in goal. This time with the ball at feet, Jack goes long from a set-piece opportunity, with the ball falling out to the feet of Phil Newport, who's able to take one touch in a second before he drags a shot wide to the left of the goal. From a set-piece opportunity here, Rod Stevens flashes in a low corner that goes to the front post, with Phil Newport stabbing in for our first goal of the season on Saturdays. Next, we have an opportunity to double our lead, which is taken away from the team, which starts when Hambledon aren't able to get the ball up the field. They look to do a counter-attack from a set piece, but Robert Austin at central defence picks up the ball before feeding Jamie Carter on the left-hand side. Carter looks up and frees Phil Newport, with the forward running in behind their defence before squeezing in a shot low past the goalkeeper. As you're about to see though, the referee has decided to go with the linesman, flagging it for offside. As you can see in our image though, the lino isn't in play, with Phil seemingly level with the defence. Next, Hambledon waste a golden ticket opportunity to get back into the game when we're unable to clear our lines from a long punt down the field. The ball falls out to one of their central forwards, who's agonisingly wide from a shot just a few yards out. Blush is spared in the first half after a near criminal miss from Hambledon. The team looked to get that second goal with the ball out on the right hand side into Rod Stevens' feet. Rod takes one touch and a cross into the box that's fed into the back post. The ball falls out to Chris Marshall, who twists and turns and he's able to get a shot away, but the Hambledon goalkeeper does excellently to keep the score at 1-0. Now from a set piece again, Rod's at hand with a floated ball into the box, being headed just over by Colin Zakemchi. The second half wasn't without its drama though, as the team looked to press for that second goal to see the game dead, just as Ivor Heath did to us the week before. This time we've got a lot of time to work the ball in midfield, with the ball eventually going out left with Jamie Carter, Phil Newport and Callum Fox-Spence all working well to link. Jamie Carter and Phil Newport play a nice 1-2 with the ball squared back to Sam Bolwell, who fires over at the edge of the box. Hambledon's best opportunity to get back into the contest in the second half falls when we're unable to clear our lines for the second time in the game, with the ball eventually trickling out to one of their forward players, who does well to compose himself at the edge of the box to tee up their forward James. The shot though is just wide of the right post. The last piece of note in this game came when Rod Stevens had a dead ball opportunity from the left hand side. The right footer has an opportunity to cross the ball in, and with the wind in our favour his effort keeps going and going and going, and it crashes off the underside of the bar with the ball agonisingly close to going in. The goalkeeper was nowhere near it in what was the final moment of the game, and a good 1-0 win for the team. Third up, on October the 17th, we travelled out to Stoke Poges Saints FC in what was our most raucous game of the season in a back and forth thriller. Stoke Poges in the first half in blue had the first big opportunity when a header is unable to meet the target. With the train in yellow and red, our first opportunity of the game falls when Jack Ross's long kicks fall to Phil Newport, with the forward doing well to combine with John Watkins on the right. John tees up Phil, and the goalkeeper for Stoke Poges has made an amazing save to keep the score goalless. In what was a back and forth encounter, we had another opportunity which started from the right hand side, with the ball falling out to our midfield and back to Rod Stevens. Rod tries to play the ball inside, but is cut back by the defender and out to Callum Fox-Spence, who takes one touch and hits a very good looping effort, but the goalkeeper's equal to the effort. After Phil was dragged down at the edge of the box, Rod Stevens has an opportunity here to guide in a ball to put some pressure on their goalkeeper, but the effort is about half an inch away from Martin King's head. Stoke Poges now had an opportunity from a free kick, which is calmly collected by Jack, with the big lad in goal putting an absolute almighty effort towards the Stoke Poges goal. Phil Newport is the first to flick on, but the Stoke Poges keeper again does excellently to deny Callum Fox-Spence. We're about 20 or 30 seconds away from half time at this point in the encounter, with Stoke Poges, who were largely dangerous from set pieces, unable to convert from this opportunity as well. Though in yellow and red we're unable to clear our lines, with Stoke Poges doing well to collect the ball in, with the cross eventually being able to come in at the back stick. Marin's unable to head clear, with Sam Manton, their attacker, getting the nod on, and the ball trickles in over the line off the foot of Robert Austin. Into the second half now, another dead ball sees the ball whipped in at the edge of the box, eventually falling out to Phil Newport, who's unable to take control of the effort. Growing into the game in the second half, the team were desperately pressurising Stoke Poges for a second goal, with the game slowly becoming more scrappy until we're able to command the ball in midfield. Callum does well to pick up and tees up Sam Bolwell, who lays the ball out right to John Watkins. The left central defender of Stoke Poges does well to clear his lines, though the effort falls out to Rod Stevens, who flashes in an effort across the central defenders, picking out Phil. Phil does such a good job at collecting the ball before calmly putting the effort in to equalise at around the 55-minute mark. The team are growing in confidence. We're in a really good moment here as Sammy Seville combines well with Rod Stevens, with Callum Fox-Spence looking to tee up Roddy, though Phil is accidentally intercepting the pass. The ball falls out to Hanwell, who's all over the place at the moment, with the midfielder able to get the ball out to the left-hand side with myself, Rob, at left-back. There's a nice little 1-2 with Dom Clark as I'm able to get in across at the back stick with Sam Bolwell. He takes a very good effort but is defended very well by Stoke Poges. Warning signs of a second goal just kept on coming for the away team as we were looking to make the most of another set-piece opportunity. The ball though is eventually cleared out and Stoke Poges are unable to combine with their two forwards on the counter. Dom's got the ball at his feet again and he decides to go long. With the fantastic effort freeing Phil in midfield, he does well to collect the ball and flick the ball over the goalkeeper, but the headed effort goes about half an inch wide. The team's next big opportunity in the game came from a Stoke Poges goal kick with the team pressing up high. Callum again does excellently to win the ball and it goes out to Jamie Carter at left midfield, who's passed into Phil Newport. Phil's done a low cross into the box that's fed out to Sammy Seville with the right winger chipping the ball back, and it's on the head of Sam Bolwell and expertly into the net for the 2-1 lead. In this YouTube derby clash though, you can't take anything for granted, with the team pegged back almost instantly, and it all started from another Stoke Poges goal kick which freed Sam Manson midfield. He takes a shot that's saved well by Jack, but the return effort on goal is off the hand of Dom Clark with the referee pointing towards the spot. Their midfielder Fat Albert then stands up and delivers a very nice penalty, levelling the scores at 2-2. The game's at a knife edge now, and again Sammy Seville and Rod combine very well to free a cross into the box that's nodded towards goal by Chris Marshall, but not enough to go into the net. This all led to a set piece for Stoke Poges in the 90-plus 5th minute, with their captain Chris Tierney stabbing on a header, which is saved well but fallen straight back out to their captain, with the ball falling into the net for the 3-2 lead right at the end of the game. Though, as you can see here, we're not looking to concede and we're actually playing some nice stuff right at the end as we're looking to get back into the game in what was a dramatic game for both teams. The ball falls out to Chris Marshall, who's fed in by one of their defenders, but there's a great covering tackle denying us of an opportunity to get in level at 3-3. The team had to wait 6 months to return to league action as we travelled away to Hounslow Wanderers, which was our furthest away game of the season, on April the 10th, 2021, a whole 6 months after. And we started very, very well in the game with Phil Newport winning a penalty early on after being dragged down by their defence. Callum Fox-Spence in the middle, our number 7, stepped up for the penalty, but the Hounslow goalkeeper does very well to palm out the effort to keep the score goalless. Often in football, when you don't take the most of your opportunity, something comes to bite you on the arse, and that happened to us here midway in the first half when there's a nice 1-2 between Hounslow freeing their quick forward Prince, who's able to squeeze the ball under the legs of Jack Grosh, giving the hosts a 1-0 lead. It was actually ourselves that had the majority of the possession and the play in the first half, and it didn't take us too long to get our next opportunity to force an equalising effort. The ball here, as you can see, is trickling along nicely at the edge of the box before, as you're about to see, it's played out right. Phil Newport does well to be the first one onto the effort again, though his shot is blocked, with Callum Fox-Spence charging on, with their defender fouling Callum just inside the edge of the box, giving us another penalty kick. This time on his debut, Jack Redding stands up to the effort, with the number 15 powering his effort down the middle, giving us an equalising goal away in London. Next, we play it out wide to Rod Stevens from a dead ball opportunity, with the right back launching in a nice effort into the Hounslow area. The ball is flicked on to Sam Padden, who's one touch away from controlling that and having a free shot at goal. The team are looking for that decisive second goal to give us some momentum in the game, and it starts when Callum Fox-Spence is on the right hand side, teeing up Jack in the middle. Jack takes one touch and frees in Roddy on the right hand side, with Rod's first time effort flashed in towards Phil Newport. He does well to beat a defender, but his stab left footed effort goes agonisingly wide. Into the second half, it's Hounslow who have the majority of the chances as they're playing into the wind and they've got the downhill experience. Their pacey forward Prince has the opportunity to cut the ball back with a volley at the edge of the box, going a bit wayward. In what was the most criminal miss of the second half that should have seen the team take the lead, debutant Stefan Sakura picks up the ball here from Phil Newport and drives well, unleashing a shot that's parried by the goalkeeper, falling into Sam Burwell. There's a second effort that's saved well, and then a third effort from the head, with Hounslow keeping the score level. Similar to Rod's effort against Hambledon, Hounslow at the depth have an opportunity here to whip in a cross. Because of the wind, the cross carries and it hits the bar, though we're able to clear our lines as the full-time whistle goes a matter of minutes later after a hamstring injury, which means we leave the capital with a point. Fast forward a couple of weeks, on April 24th, 2021, we had the return fixture against Stoke Poges Saints at Calcott Recreation Ground. This wasn't anything like our 3-2 thriller last time, as we played out a dross 0-0 against the hosts at home. As you can see here, there wasn't a lot to decide, with the goalkeepers largely collecting balls from dead situations. Though in the first half there was a couple of moments where both teams could have got the lead. First, the team here from a set piece of our own are able to play out on the counter-attack, with Callum Fox-Spence picking up a ball, with the team playing some actual nice one-touch football here, with the ball falling out to Collins Akemchi and Stefan Sakura. Stefan has the ball at his feet for a long time and he's eventually fouled for a free kick. Though Stefan's effort here, as you're about to see, is low and hard and it doesn't trouble the goalkeeper. Stoke Poges, to their own account, have their best opportunity in the first half when a corner flashed in at the back post is whipped back and one of their defenders does an overhead kick that goes narrowly over the bar. Into the second half and there's a bit of jostling in midfield before substitute Phil Newport picks up the ball and playing in Stefan, who's all over the shop in the first half and the second, and he's driving at the Stoke Poges defence, but his shot is unable to reach the target. Stoke Poges' best effort in the second half fell near the end of the game when a set-piece opportunity falls out to the edge of the box, and after we think it's been squandered, there's an effort that's flashed into the box and it's guided over the bar from about 7 yards out in what was a largely uneventful game. May arrived for the team, and so did our best performance of the season by quite some distance, with the team travelling out to the Dean in Hambledon for the return fixture against the aforementioned hosts. As you can see here, Sam Burwell plays in a first-time left-footed pass over to Callum Fox-Spence to rifle in a half volley past the goalkeeper, which was our number 7's first competitive goal for the club. Into the second half and a Rod Stevens corner is aimed in at the back stick, though it's half cleared away by a Hambledon defender and picked up by Sam Padden, who stabs home with his right foot. Welcome back to the team pads with a goal after 6 or 7 months out with an ACL injury. Again, we've got a bit of deja vu this time, as Rod Stevens has another set piece to contend with the right back able to pick out Martin King in the middle of the goal to give the team a 3-0 commanding lead. With the sun setting for the hosts and on the game day itself, the team produced its finest moment of the game as Callum Parr-Jones, Sam Padden and Rod Stevens combined brilliantly to tee up Callum Fox-Spence on the left-hand side. CPJ's effort teed up Callum, who squared it past a defender and then expertly into the back of the net, giving the team a fantastic 4-0 away win, meaning that our only 2 wins of the season were a double over Hambledon, both home and away. From a feeling of euphoria to annihilation in the matter of 7 days, the team travelled out to Old Windsor on a very, very tough afternoon for the team, and a windy one at that, as you can see here, with one of our highlights being that the video camera on what is a £20 frame falling to its knees in the first half. The wind was absolutely dreadful, particularly in the first half, with the team battling the elements. So coming to pressure eventually in the game, Old Windsor here have a corner opportunity which is flicked out. The team try to close down the possession as Old Windsor are able to get the ball eventually back into the box, with captain Vincent van Lembergen adjudged to have handballed an effort, giving Old Windsor an opportunity from the penalty spot. Midfielder Lewis Hewitt stands up against the big frame of Jack Roche in goal, with the forward able to just about squeeze the ball in past Jack to give the hosts a lead. Into the second half, and this game didn't get any easier for the team as the wind started to subside, meaning that there were some very heavy legs on the day. Their forwards though do some very nice little interplay here, which tees up Lewis Hewitt to score his second goal of the game, giving the team a massive uphill battle. Compounding a bad day at the office, Old Windsor are able to rob the ball from us in midfield, with midfielder Lucas Benj getting the ball on his left hand side and firing in a very nice low effort to give the team a commanding 3-0 win over the team. Just want to say congratulations to Old Windsor for the game and also for finishing second in Division 1. Congratulations aren't shared though with our next opponents and what was our final game of the season against Townmead on the 29th of May at home. Kyle, their left winger, as you're about to see coming into screen, picks up a loose pass and is able to tap into an empty net to give the hosts a lead, which then is compounded in the second half for the team when Townmead are able to double their lead, with the team in red cutting the ball back for ineligible player Matty Sullivan to tap home for a 2-0 lead. With the game drawing to a close, we did have one moment of respite for the team as Rod Stevens flashes in a corner that's flicked off of Waleed Zaki, with Phil Newport powering home an effort to give the team some hope and a consolation, which was our final goal of the season. With 8 matches completed this season on Saturday, here's how EBFL Division 1 shaped up, with the team rooted in 4th place out of 5 teams. We had to forego return fixtures against Ivor, Heath and the Old Windsor reserve team, meaning we could only complete 6 of our 8 registered league outings. Our 1-1 away draw at Hounslow was expunged due to the host folding a matter of weeks later, whilst our final home game of the season against Townmead would have been reversed as a default home win, though ultimately expunged as well, as the lawless West Drayton outfit fielded ineligible players, and I'll be the first to say good riddance to them from the league. Congratulations to Ivor Heath in order to for winning the divisional crown, as well as to Sing Sabah Slough FC on winning the Premier Division on the final day against Britwell. AFC Cressex also won Division 2, and lastly to Chalfont St Peter's under-23 outfit for topping the Development Division. Next up on our YouTube channel, we relive our inaugural Stewards Cup tie against Hambledon FC that finished the season, before we delve into the highlights in our newly formed Reading Sunday Social League. Until next time, believe the hype!